What's going on, guys? It's Jaraman, and I am back with another episode of NBA Kicks, the show where we count down the top 10 best sneakers in the NBA every single week of the season. We are now officially past the first round of the playoffs, and to be totally honest with you guys, the kick game has actually been incredible. So hopefully the boys keep rocking new silhouettes and new colorways. That way I can give you guys another top 10 episode on top of the top 10 best sneakers of the entire season episode, which will drop right before the start of the NBA Finals. So make sure you're locked in and subscribe to the channel for those 2 future episodes. But right now, we got to talk about the best playoff kicks so far. So let's drop that intro and let's get this thing started. Starting off the list at number 10, we got Anthony Edwards with the Adidas AE1 low. I think it's safe to say that Anthony Edwards has reached another level of superstardom and now has become one of the marquee faces of the league. And while his first signature sneaker had a lot of hype around its release, I did have a few issues with them performance-wise that this low-top version might actually solve. One of my main issues with the AE1 was its weight. By modern standards, they were on the heavier side, and after extended use, my ankles definitely felt the sturdiness of the silhouette, which is one of the main reasons why I'm excited for the lows, because not only will there be reduced weight due to the reduced materials, but the ankle will be freed up as well since the collar is much lower. And also, I just love the way these look. I mean, sometimes when you convert a mid or a high top sneaker to a low, it can look somewhat funky or forced and it just doesn't really translate. But with the AE1s, I actually think it looks great in both a mid and a low top version. So personally, I can't wait for these to drop. Oh, and also quick question. Me and my friend are in a heated debate right now. If you were the Celtics and Minnesota called you and wanted to trade Anthony Edwards for Jason Tatum, I know it's crazy, it would never happen, but just as a hypothetical, if you were the Celtics, would you take that trade? I think you should, but let me know what you think. Next up at number 9 is LeBron James with the LeBron 21. LeBron laces up a new colorway for primetime inspired by primetime. Now, we've seen Bron lace up a diamond turf inspired colorway earlier this season, but for the playoffs, Nike laces Bron up with a white, red, and black colorway with a splash of gold, which as a 49er fan myself, I absolutely love. LeBron actually rocked a ton of new colorways of his latest silhouette during his postseason run, which I have to say have all been great, but I'm giving the nod to these diamond turfs because bang bang. Next up at number 8 is Kyrie Irving with the Anta Kai ones. Playoff Kyrie is definitely a thing, to quote that new NBA commercial that we keep seeing. But I'm happy because not only is it great to watch Kyrie just absolutely ball out, but Anta has been lacing Kai up with some equally as stellar kicks. This colorway, dubbed the Enlightened Warrior, uses an array of colors alongside tribal patterns on the upper, which are inspired by Kyrie's lifelong journey to the present day. Anta also dropped a cinematic video inspired by this colorway, which was really cool. If you haven't checked it out already, look it up because I thought it was awesome, and it just shows how invested Anta is with the new Kyrie signature line, which gets me really excited for future silhouettes. I mean, if we're just being honest, Anta and the Kai 1's release has been a lot more successful than Nike and the Book 1's release, which is actually kind of crazy. Coming in at number 7 is PJ Tucker with the Nike Zoom Kobe 3. The Sneaker King rocks my favorite colorway of the most underrated Kobe Bryant sneaker of all time. The Zoom Kobe 3 is the forgotten Kobe sneaker, mainly because it preceded the Zoom Kobe 4s, which not only revolutionized the Kobe signature line, but really revolutionized basketball sneakers across the industry. Personally, I've always loved the Kobe 3s because it was the sneaker that he wore during his first ever MVP season, and I thought they were visually stunning as well, with a unique look that hasn't been replicated until this year with the AE1s. Now this Orca colorway uses an all black upper, a white swoosh, and just a splash of Laker gold on the tongue, which makes it easily my favorite colorway of the silhouette. So huge props for PJ Tucker for pulling this jam out of his closet. But Nike, please start re-releasing some more Kobe 3s. I mean, it's a Kobe, it's going to sell. Next up at number 6, we got Rui Hachimura with the Air Jordan 38. In case you didn't know, Jordan Brand has given Rui Hachimura some of the best player-exclusive colorways in the entire league, and this new colorway is no exception. Now, we have seen PEs for Rui that use a similar cherry blossom pattern, but to be totally honest with you guys, it never gets old, and I love seeing Jordan Brand honor Rui's home country of Japan with traditional artwork that looks beautiful both on and off of a sneaker. Hopefully, Jordan Brand continues to give Rui these incredible player-exclusive colorways, especially on the next silhouette, which we're actually gonna hear from a little bit later in this episode. Kicking off the top 5, we got Donovan Mitchell with the Don issue number 6. So we've officially reached the part of the video where we're just gonna get debut signature silhouette after debut signature silhouette, and we're starting with these Don issue number 6s. Now, my first thought when I saw these was that they look exactly like the Air Jordan 36s. I mean, just look at the comparison between the two. They are very, very similar. However, you guys know the rules. I had no choice but to put the Don issue number 6s in the top 5 because they are still a new signature silhouette. I do still feel, however, that Adidas could have made a better first impression with a different colorway instead of these multicolored joints, but either way, they're still loud and hard to miss on the court, and I also love the subtle 3-stripe design on the midfoot of the upper. Personally, I'm gonna hold off full judgment on these until I start to see them in some new colorways, but for now, they're technically the least interesting debut signature silhouette of the playoffs. Next up at number 4 is Damian Lillard with the Adidas Dame 9. Man, injuries really do suck because before Dame got hurt, he really was on one. Not only was he playing great basketball, but he was doing so in a brand new signature silhouette. The Dame 9s fit right into the Damian Lillard signature line with a budget-friendly makeup, which also features a unique 3-stripe design on the midfoot, but also looks like it uses a booty construction for the collar, which should provide a nice 1-to-1 fit similar to the earlier Dame silhouettes. Actually, some of those early Dame sneakers were some of my favorite encore performers of all time, and they also provided incredible value as well. So hopefully these Dame 9s go back to their roots and provide excellent encore performance at an extremely affordable price. Next up at number 3 is Paolo Banchero with the Air Jordan 39. Jordan Brand picks Paolo Banchero to debut Michael Jordan's 39th, yes, you heard that right, 39th signature silhouette. Now, if you're looking at the Jordan 39 and saying to yourself, boy, it looks pretty basic, you would be right, because apparently Michael Jordan himself told designers to get back to the basics and create something that is confident, clean, and simple. Now, I'll let you guys be the judge of how the 39s look visually, but for me, the thing that gets me excited the most are the performance features, as the Jordan 39s will have a Zoom X cushioning system, which is featured in fan favorite silhouettes such as the GT Cut 3s. Visually though, I don't really have much to say about these because again, they are pretty basic, but if you want to say they're clean and simple, I could also agree with that as well. I also think it's a little funny that they don't have any real resemblance with the Air Jordan 9s, but I think that's a good thing because the 9s are one of the worst Jordans of all time. Before you flame me in the comments, make sure you check out my worst Jordans of all time video because there I fully explain myself, and if you have any complaints, you can comment on that video. Coming in as our runner-up is Kevin Durant with the Nike KD 17. KD debuts his 17th signature silhouette with this colorway that's inspired by a producer? Yes, this earthy colorway, which uses shades of orange, green, and brown, is inspired by Bink, who is a producer best known for his work with Jay-Z's Rockefeller Records. I find it interesting that KD and Nike would make a colorway inspired by someone who isn't really well known to the masses. It seems a little inside baseball to me. However, on the flip side, it's really cool that KD is honoring Bink with his very own colorway, as KD is clearly a fan of his work. Personally, I think the KD 17s have a visually distinctive look that reminds me a lot of the Air Max Pluses, so if you're not a fan of that silhouette, you're not gonna be a fan of these. But for me, I think it's a pretty good look and should create some more incredible colorways in the future that we are gonna have to wait until next season for KD to debut, because he is now officially out of the playoffs. I'm not gonna lie and say I saw that one coming, but it is kind of shocking that they got swept. So I guess now is a good time as any to ask you guys, who do you think is winning the NBA Finals? I have always been on this train. I think the Mavs and the Knicks. I know it sounds crazy, but those are my like sleeper candidates. But obviously you gotta throw the Celtics in there. And then I'm gonna throw one more West team. I think the Wolves are looking real sharp right now. But you know, gun to my head, I'm gonna say Celtics, Wolves, but watch out for the Mavs and Knicks, boys. I'm telling you, they look good. Finally, at number 1, we have Luka Doncic with the Jordan Luka 3. Luka Doncic had by far the best signature sneaker debut of the playoffs so far, because not only do I think the Luka 3 looks like a really good silhouette, but he debuted them in a fashion that left me no other choice but to give them the number 1 spot. Now, just judging the shoe itself, the Luka 3 looks like an improvement over the 2s. One of the main problems I had with the 2s was that they were just kind of bulky, but the 3s look like they've slimmed down quite a bit, which should make the user feel faster and quicker on the court. So yes, performance-wise, I am looking forward to what the Luka 3 has to offer, but visually, I think it's a pretty solid entry as well, with a unique design on the upper, as well as what looks like glow-in-the-dark features for the midsole. However, that is not the most interesting part about this colorway. In case you missed it, Luka arrived to a game in a custom-wrapped 1968 Chevrolet Camaro that perfectly matches the debut colorway of his 3rd signature silhouette, and on top of that, he even created an iconic Michael Jordan photo. Now that is how you debut a brand new signature sneaker. I mean, the Camaro alone is just so sick, and it makes it even better that there's a matching pair of shoes to go with it, which I think is every sneakerhead's dream. This is why I love sneakers, because they are more than things you wear on your feet. The shoes you wear can tell a story. It can tell people what you're interested in, what you like, what something means to you, and clearly Luka has a thing for classic cars, and I think everyone watching this video would like to have a pair of shoes that matches their car. So really, Luka is just living the dream here. So allow me to officially crown the Jordan Luka 3 as the best sneaker worn during week 1 of the 2024 NBA playoffs. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this week's episode, which if you did, make sure you drop a like button because it helps me out a lot. And I also want to take this opportunity to thank everyone who reached out to me recently. If you're following me on social media, you know that I went through something that I had to take a break from making videos. And at the time, it was really difficult for me to kind of reply to everyone and thank them. So I'm taking this opportunity now to tell you guys that all your love and support was seen, it was felt. I didn't ignore you. Again, it was just kind of hard for me to face that head on. It still kind of is, but I do just want to thank you guys again. I appreciate everything you guys do, all the love and messages you guys sent. It was seen, and I want to make sure you guys know that I appreciate it. I really do. So thank you guys so much. But until the next episode, I hope you guys have a good day, and I'll see you guys there. Peace.